What's happening, y'all? It's your man Flex back at it again with another dope video. You know how we get down. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody had a great day, blessed day. You know what I'm saying? Productive, getting the right start to the week. Let's get into it, y'all. Man, especially with this, Young Thug situation that's been going on, right? Phone call leaks, audio leaks of him. You know what I mean? Talking, shooting the shit, pillow talking about and snitching on everybody. And because of this, we have an influx of people realizing that thug culture, the hustle culture, the street culture is out of it's like it's out of style now, y'all. Like, it ain't the play that it once was. It ain't really cool to even talk about it no more. It ain't even really cool to really try to be about that life anymore. I never been in that game, so I ain't about to come forward people that have been in that game, right? But I'm starting to see an influx of, younger men especially, like, kind of like denouncing it, you know what I mean? Not really being for it like that. You know what I'm saying? And especially with, it's just looking like, okay, it's not as cool as it once was, right? And you got Young Thug saying that your favorite rappers, they get it from behind. You know what I'm saying? They get it from behind all type of ways imaginable. Your favorite rappers, your favorite athletes, your favorite thug dudes, whatever it may be. Like, he's just exposing everybody, right? And basically making the thug culture look like a joke. I'm keeping it a buck. Street culture look like a joke. And I feel like, we in a day and age in society where the veil is being unlifted in general. Like, in reality is being shown. Reality is being shown to people, to the public. The veil is being unlifted. I've heard people say that we in the age of Aquarius, which is true, right? The age of Aquarius is basically age of revelation, revealing. Things are being revealed to a lot of people and to the masses, different sectors and arenas that were once kind of shown as this, 20, 30, 40, 50, even 60 years ago. Now it's being unlifted, and now people are seeing the truth of what it really is, right? I'm a millennial, so I feel like millennial and Gen Z is kind of like that generation that is doing a lot of the unveiling, or lifting of the veil, bringing things to light. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the baby boomers and Gen X wasn't doing that, but I just feel like with social media on the rise and it being at its peak, it's kind of like with social media at its peak of what it is right now, because it's at its biggest peak. Everybody is looking for truth through social media, right? Phone calls being leaked. It's easy for stuff to get leaked like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that wouldn't have happened back in 2005, back in, 2000, the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like we even seeing old conversations from, like back in the day get leaked now, because it's easier to do that type of shit now. So, my point being is that, like, thug culture ain't really that popular like it used to be. I really feel like, it's for the better, it's for the good, in a sense, because you even have a lot of people that, like, people that grew up in the hood and shit like that, they talking about it. Cause it's like, yo, like, it's no real benefit to that. You know what I mean? You got homies risking their life going to do about 15 years for $1,000, for $1,500. You about to risk your shit to do 15 years off of you trying to make $1,500, or shit, maybe even $500. Let's keep it a buck. Hell, maybe even $250. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't really, but at the same time, I'm gonna say this though, because this is my empathetic side coming out, right? I do practice empathy to a degree. I don't know what it's like to grow up in the hood and not have the privilege, right? I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in a 2-parent household, right? So my parents did pretty well, right? My dad was a grinder, you know what I mean? But also my dad grew up in the hood himself. So he grew up in the hood, from the hood, projects. And back when Newark, New Jersey was the shit. It was, you know what I'm saying? And in the 50s, 60s, 70s, grew up without a dad in his life. So he wanted to provide, and this kind of may be a rant, but I'm kind of just ranting with y'all right now, right? Hopefully y'all still follow me, right? But my dad didn't want us to grow up the same way that he grew up, right? And so I had that privilege of having a father in my life. A lot of these younger men don't have that privilege. That's why they grow up listening to rappers, or they grow up truly following that lifestyle and being influenced, because they don't see anything else. They don't see any other type of way of living, any other type of hope, unless they're gonna go into rapping, or unless they're gonna become an athlete, a star athlete, or unless they get into the thug life, into the gang life, and they make their money doing that. They hustle doing that. They don't have any other type of influence, which is why black men that are trying to take leadership roles really have to understand that with great power comes great responsibility. You feel me? And that's because otherwise they turn into that shit. But I think now as we are in the age of Aquarius, now we are tearing into, I'm trying to use my words correctly. Now we are approaching the age and the generation of truth. The age and a generation of not caring about being cool, not caring about being on the thug life and trying to be hard like that, because you starting to see that that's not really cool. You got Young Thug snitching on your favorite rappers and lifting the veil off of your favorite rappers and influencers and saying they ain't hard like that, they ain't all like that, whatever. Right now, I think Thug is doing too much talking. I think he snitched too much. I think, I don't think a man should be really on that type of time, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But at the same time, he exposing shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I haven't really, I kind of like maybe got to do a little bit more research on that situation, but I've seen different videos about it and coming on my FYP on TikTok and shit like that. So, but my main thing is that I'm also noticing a lot of people start to see that thug culture ain't really, it's like, what's the hype in it anymore of trying to get into it, right? Shit, you can make $250 doing Instacart. Fuck. I mean, I get it. It's fast money for some people, but it's like, like I said, you grow up in the hood, or you grow up in the projects and you grow up seeing shit, and that's all you know. I don't know what that's like, and a lot of people don't know what that's like. So I try not to talk down on shit that I don't know. But at the same time, in some ways, you gotta find other ways to make it out here. You know what I mean? And I want younger men, and I feel like younger men are tearing towards that nowadays. With streaming on the rise and with different things, different ways of making money, like, man, this generation got it easy, in my opinion. You know, like, I'm a millennial, so millennials know all about life before technology and in the prime of technology. So we have the best of both worlds in that way, right? But yeah, man, we starting to see, you know, thug culture, street culture is not what it ain't cool. It ain't cool anymore. You know what I mean? Like, for those type of reasons. Excuse me. So, hey, I just wanted to rant with y'all, get my thoughts on it. I wanted to make this video before, like, when I was first seeing the Young Thug situation. Just never got around to it. But let me know what your thoughts are on the situation, on Young Thug situation and street culture. You know what I mean? Like, is it dying, and like, is it you know, going away? I think it is, for the better, obviously. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below so that way you know when I post new content videos. Shout out to all the subscribers, old and new. I love y'all. Stay tuned for the next one. It's your man Flex. I'm out. Peace.